Steak, I am your griller. And I'm also pepper. Because it's also a shaker. Okay. Hey folks, I'm Matt from Fidel Gastro, and today I'm going to show you how to make a reverse sear steak.
And I've partnered with Canola Eat Well to bring you this reverse sear steak recipe.
I know, big words. What is reverse sear? Well, take your normal way of cooking a steak, which is hot pan, sear it on both sides, put it in the oven. This way is the exact opposite. Put it in the oven first and then finish it on the pan. It's actually the perfect steak. It's like, I was convinced that if you put the steak raw in the oven first, all the juices would just pour out of it. I had to what's the saying? You put your foot in your own mouth? I had to put my foot in my own mouth because I didn't believe it. I did. First, you're gonna preheat your oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit. That is the perfect temperature for doing the reverse sear method. Make sure your steak is at least 1.5 inches thick. I'm using a New York strip loin, Canadian prime, nice marbling, nice fat content, and it's just over 1 pound. This will not work on a tiny steak. Now we're gonna season it up. Grab a little bit of canola oil, and oil both sides. Then we're gonna sprinkle some salt. And then a little bit of smoked paprika. Rub that in. All right, now we have our seasoned steak, and we're gonna put it in the oven. All right, so the steak is in the oven directly on the grill rack because you don't want the pan to actually interfere with the heat cooking all the way around. Like, that's what makes the steak so perfect. It's an even distribution of heat. The pan is actually underneath the rack so that it can catch any drippings that might fall. Keep it clean. Keep it classy. All right, so now the steak has been cooking at 275 for 45 minutes. We're gonna remove it from the oven, place it on a plate, and allow it to rest for about 10 minutes before we sear it on a hot cast iron pan. When you're ready to sear your steak, make sure your cast iron skillet is super hot. Place it on the burner, turn it to high, add a little bit of canola oil, and then evenly distribute the oil around with a paper towel. The trick to that is when you put the meat down on the pan, you're getting a nice even sear and a nice even crust all over the steak. Canola oil is ideal for searing because of the fact it has such a high smoke point. You're less likely to burn your oil, therefore less likely to burn your meat. Now we're gonna make crispy potatoes to go with our reverse sear steak. Can't have meat without a little potato. So what you do is get a little pot of water, put your potatoes in, turn it to high, allow it to boil, and let it boil for about 35 to 40 minutes until the potatoes fork tender. So once your potatoes are super soft, pull them out of the water, let them drain just a bit. All right, so this is one of my favorite ways to cook a potato. It's been boiled super tender, so the inside of the potato is nice and soft, but then we're gonna crush it, flour it, and fry it, so the outside is nice and crispy, and then the inside is just luscious and tender. Now we're gonna build our plate. Place those rustic, crispy potatoes down on your cast iron skillet. Cut your steak on a diagonal bias, and then layer it over top of the potatoes. Season it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of fresh thyme. Well, there you have it, folks. How to cook a perfectly reverse seared steak. I liked it. Dark loved it. The universe is happy. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.